Alright, hello guys. So in this video, we will discuss revenue from construction contracts. So this is still under PFRS 15. So what are our learning objectives for this lecture video? Tatlo yan. Number 1 is to apply the principles under PFRS 15 to account for revenue from construction contracts. Number 2, account for contract costs on construction contracts, and the last one is to account for variable consideration, contract modifications, and other changes in the transaction price of a construction contract. Now, bakit nakahiwalay ito sa discussion natin from the general principles? Because construction contract is a major contract. No? So, meron tayong specific accounting principles na ina-apply for construction contracts. That's why may sarili siyang lecture video. Okay? Sige, so let's start. First, let's define what is a construction contract. A construction contract is a contract, or in other terms, it is an agreement. No? It is an agreement negotiated for the construction of an asset. Ano ba ang example ng construction contracts, no? Ito yung nag-agree kayo ni contractor para magtayo ng bridge, building, condominium, etc. Okay? So usually guys, ang mga construction contracts, these are long-term in nature, no? Matatagal itong mga klase ng kontrata. Normally, a construction contract will take more than 1 year, no? Pwedeng 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, depende sa nature ng kino-construct mo. Okay? Now, what are the different types of construction contracts? May tatlo tayong klase ng construction contracts. Number 1, fixed price contract. Number 2, cost plus contract, and number 3, construction contract with variation. Anong ibig sabihin pag sinabi nating fixed price contract? Pag sinabi nating fixed price contract, meron ka na agad na tinatawag na initial fixed price. For example, ang sabi ng contractor sa'yo, o client, ito yung isisingil ko sa'yo 4 million. Kukonstruct ko na yung buong mong building for 4 million. So, yung ganong klase ng kontrata, it is a fixed price contract. Kaya nga siya tinawag na fixed price kasi naka-fix na agad yung presyo sa simula pa lang. Di ba? Wala pang kino-construct pero fix na yung presyo. Okay? Sir, pag sinabing fixed price contract ba, hindi nagagalaw yung contract price? Normally, dapat ganon. Pero, may mga instances kasi na ang fixed price contract ay nasa subject din sa tinatawag nating cost escalation clause. Anong ibig sabihin pag sinabi nating cost escalation clause? Ito yung provision sa contract na nagsasabi in scenarios na biglang tataas ang mga cost, materials cost, labor cost, overhead cost, this will be equivalent to increase in your contract price. Okay? So, pag sinabi nating fixed price contract, guys, normally, kung ano man yung presyo nung simula, yun na yung babayaran talaga ni customer kay contractor. Pero may mga certain instances na maglalagay ng additional provision si contractor dito sa kontrata na nagsasabi, pag tumaas yung mga presyo, tataasan din natin ang contract price. That is what you call cost escalation clause. Okay? Next, cost plus contract. Pag sinabi natin cost plus contract, that is construction cost plus profit. Ang ibig sabihin ng cost plus contract is that si contractor ay babayaran siya ng mga construction cost na na-incur niya given na those costs are capitalizable under PFRS 15 plus profit. Tama naman, kasi ang contract price parang selling price lang din yan. Ang selling price, may profit na agad yan sa loob. Nakuha ba ako? Yan ang ibig sabihin ng cost plus contract natin. Lahat ng reimbursable cost to the contractor, sisingilin yan kay customer plus a certain profit for the contractor. Siyempre, kailangan din kumita ni contractor kasi nag-render siya ng service sa customer. Gets? Okay. Next one. Sa construction contract with variation naman, ano bang ibig sabihin ng variation? Pag sinabi nating variation, may changes na pinapasok doon sa original plan ni contractor. For example, originally planned 10-story building. Pero, ang sabi ni contractor, parang kulang na ngayon yung 10-story building eh. Gusto ko siyang gawing 15-story building. Pag yun ay nag-agree si contractor, then there is a variation in that contract. May variation. Ibig sabihin, may pagbabagong magaganap sa original plan nyo. Okay? So, pag sinabi natin construction contract with variation, yung contract price, magbabago yan because of the variation na in effect during the contract period. Alright? Ayan yan. So, these are your 3 types of construction contract. Next, define naman natin kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng construction revenue kasi nga dito nakasentro ang ating lecture ngayon. Ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng construction revenue? Ito yung perang matatanggap mo under the construction contract. Iko-construct mo yung building, kapalit niyan pera. Siyempre, kailangan bayaran ni customer si contractor doon sa pinatayo niyang building. Okay? So, yung payment under the construction contract, that is what you call the revenue. Ano ba ang laman ng construction revenue? Meron tayong dalawang laman dyan. Number 1, initial amount of revenue agreed. And number 2, variations. Yung number 1, self-explanatory na yan. Kung ano yung unang presyo na pinag-agrihan nyo bago mag-start yung construction, yun na yun, yung number 1. Then yung number 2, in cases na magkakaroon ng changes sa original plan. That is the variations. Okay? Pero sabi ni PFRS 15, i-include mo lang siya sa construction revenue if these variations is, number 1, probable that they will result in revenue. Anong ibig sabihin netong first condition ni PFRS 15? Malaki yung chances, no? Malaki yung chances na marirealize yung revenue due to this variation. And number 2, they can be measured reliably. Meaning, determinable yung amount ng variation na ipapasok mo sa revenue mo. Gets? So, ito yung concept ng construction revenue natin. Alright? Ano pa ang examples ng variations? Pasok natin dito tayo. Ayan. Ano ba mga examples ng variations? Number 1, change orders. Guys, pag nagdo-drawing ako ng triangle, meaning yan delta. Ang delta represents change. Okay? So, number 1, change orders. Yun nga, yung binigay ko sa inyong from being a 10-story building into 15-story building, that is a change order. Ano pa? Nandyan si penalties. Kailan nag-a-arise ang mga penalties? Kapag may pinag-agreean sa kontrata na pag ang project ay na-delay, it will result to penalties. Diba? Next, incentives. Kailan naman nag-a-arise ang incentives? Nag-a-arise ang incentives kapag, number 1, may pinag-agrihan muna, no? Everything about revenue ay nanggagaling sa kontrata. Pakitandaan na ang mga revenue ay nag-stem out lang yan sa agreement. 'Di ba? Yun yung diniscuss natin sa unang lecture video ng revenue. All revenues stem out from contract. Pag walang contract, walang revenue. Pakitandaan yun from our first lecture video on PFRS 15. 'Di ba? So, etong mga change orders, penalties, incentives, nanggagaling yan sa kontrata. Dapat nakikita yan sa kontrata or under the agreement. Alright? Balik tayo sa incentives. Kailan nangyayari ang incentives? Pag sinabi ni contractor sa kontrata niya na kapag naging maaga matapos or early completion, ayun na lang. Sabihin na lang natin early completion. Pag maagang natapos ang construction, dapat bigyan mo kami ng incentives or bonus. Pag sinabi natin incentives, ano ito bonus. Nakuha ba? Ayan. Para mas madali nyo maintindihan. Di bale, makikita nyo kung paano natin yan i-account later. No? Okay. So, okay na tayo kay construction revenue. Next one. Kung may construction revenue, it entails costs. So, this time, pag-uusapan naman natin ang construction costs. So, pag sinabi natin construction costs, ito yung mga expenses Ito yung mga expenses na incurred ni contractor. Ano ba mga examples ng construction cost? Nandyan yung construction materials, labor, and construction overhead. Okay? Now, ano ba ang laman ng construction cost? Number 1, costs that relate directly to the specific contract. Number 2, costs that are attributable to the contract in general and also it can be allocated into that contract. No? Number 3, other costs na chargeable sa customer, which is under the contract. No? Pakitandaan na palaging may kontrata dapat kasi ang pinag-uusapan natin ay isang major activity, which is construction activity. Okay? So, ito yung mga laman ng construction cost natin, guys. Number 1, directly attributable cost. Number 2, allocable cost. No? Allocable cost. Basta may connection siya sa construction contract. And number 3, other chargeable cost to the client. Okay? Ano ba mga examples ng directly attributable cost? Meron tayong 8 examples for that. Latag natin, no? Number 1, labor cost. Number 2, materials. Tandaan nyo, construction materials, yan agad yung major construction cost, no? Yan yung mga major construction cost natin sa construction contract. Number 3, depreciation of PPE used under that construction contract. Number 4, cost of moving PPE to and from the contract site. Number 5, cost of hiring plant and equipment. So, pag sinabi nating hiring dito, hindi ito yung nag-a-accept ka ng employment, meaning neto, yung paggagamit ng mga PPE sa construction activity mo. Tulad ng crane. Ayan. Diba? Yan yung number 5 natin. Number 6, design and technical assistance that are directly related to the contract. Number 7, estimated cost of rectification and guarantee work. No? Siyempre, kapag construction activity yan, dapat meron palaging warranty, no? Kasi nga, pag sinabi nating may rectification yan or guarantee work, meaning yan is nag-e-expect si contractor ng mga minor activities na pwedeng makaapekto sa construction activity, no? There's no such thing as perfect environment, tandaan yan, no? There's no such thing as perfect environment. Meron at meron magkakaroon ng errors kasi. Kaya, nag-estimate si contractor ng allowances for that. Then number 8, claims from third parties. Alright? So, ito yung mga examples ng directly attributable cost natin for construction contracts. Next, ano naman yung mga hindi dapat sinasali under construction cost? May 5 tayo ditong i-enumerate, no? Number 1, general administration cost. General rule, hindi natin yan isasali under construction cost. Unless na lang, no? Tandaan nyo, may exception. Unless the reimbursement is specified in the contract. Tandaan nyo, pag chargeable kay customer yung cost, sasali natin yan sa construction cost natin. Number 2, research and development. Similar to number 1, general rule natin dyan, ini-expense natin ang research and development cost natin. Unless na lang ulit na reimbursable yan. Okay? Tandaan niyo yung number 3 natin kanina sa construction cost, ha? Yung mga chargeable cost sa customer, sinasali natin yan sa construction cost natin. Number 3, depreciation of idle plant and equipment not used on any particular contract. Obviously, dapat hindi natin yan sinasali. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman pala attributable sa construction contract natin. Number 4, cost of wasted materials, labor, or other resources. Bakit natin ini-exclude itong mga to? Kasi nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na inefficiencies. In accounting, inefficiencies shall be charged to expenses immediately. Tandaan niyo yan. Yung mga related sa inefficiencies mo, dapat sinacharge yan sa expenses. Dapat hindi yan sinacharge sa customer kasi hindi niya naman kasalanan kung bakit ka naging inefficient. Okay? And number 5, the last one, cost that is related to satisfied performance obligations. So, ito na naman, binabanggit na naman si performance obligations. Kasi nga, under PFRS 15 pa rin tayo until now. Klaro? Okay. So, yun ang mga nature ng mga terms na gagamitin natin for construction contract accounting. Okay? So, let's now move on to the central topic, accounting for construction contracts. How do we account for construction contracts ba? No? So, ang accounting lang natin dyan, guys, is determine the outcome of the contract if the outcome can be estimated reliably or it cannot be estimated reliably or reasonably. Sabi ni PFRS 15, if the contractor can estimate the outcome of the contract, then that contractor is permitted to use what we call percentage of completion method. Pero, kapag si contractor hindi niya ma-estimate yung magiging outcome ng contract, isa lang ang method na pwede niyang gamitin, zero profit method. Okay? Sir, paano natin usually nalalaman kung pwedeng ma-estimate yung magiging outcome ng contract? Ang basic examples ko dyan is may prior experience na si contractor sa pagko-construct ng ganong asset. Kung dati nagko-construct siya ng mga bridge, ng mga buildings, tapos yung current project niya is to construct bridge na naman or any building, then kayang-kaya niya nang i-estimate yung magiging outcome ng contract kasi nga may prior experience na siya. Ang cases naman for number 2, which the contractor cannot estimate the outcome of the contract, is pag wala pa siyang prior projects related to that. So kung dati, for example, ang usual projects ni contractor ay magtatayo siya ng building or ng mga bridge, tapos ang current project niya ay magko-construct siya ng barko. So, yung ganitong scenario, Wala pa siyang prior experience sa pagko-construct ng barko, tama? Therefore, kailangan niyang gamitin ang zero profit for that. Okay? Ayan. I-explain naman natin isa-isa ito, si percentage of completion at si zero profit contract in our subsequent slides. Okay? Pero unahin muna natin si percentage of completion method. Okay? Ano ba ang mga concept na dapat nating tatandaan when it comes to percentage of completion? Pag sinabi natin percentage of completion, ang construction revenue mo ay nakabase sa completion percentage. Kaya nga siya tinawag na percentage of completion tama? So yung construction revenue niya or construction revenue ni contractor ay nakabase sa completion percentage ng kanyang construction activity. So what are the different methods of measuring progress? No? So pag sinabi nating completion percentage, meron tayong i-account na progress. So how do we measure progress? There are two methods. Number 1, output method, and number 2, input methods. Ano ang pure example ng output method, guys? Yan yung method nila engineer or ni architect. Paano ina-apply ang method nila engineer or ni architect? Pakitaan ko kayo ng basic example, no? Imagine, paki-imagine na building ito. Okay? Building yan. Now, ilang story ang building na to? Bilangin natin, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, itong building na to is a 10-story building. Okay? So, paano natin ina-apply ang percentage of completion pag ginagamit yung method nila engineer or ni architect? Let's say, by visual observation, nakikita natin out of the 10-story building, tapos na yung first 3 floors of the building. So kung tatanungin ko kayo, guys, what do you think is the percentage of completion of this project? What do you think will be the percentage of completion for this project? Tama yung iniisip nyo. Alam ko na yung iniisip nyo Ayaw nyo lang sabihin sa akin. Ano yan? It is 30% completed. Sir, paano mo nasabing 30% completed? So, kung nakikita mo, no, ang original plan natin is 10-floor building or 10-story building. Pero out of the 10-floor building, 3 floors pa lang ang tapos. So, kapag kinompute mo 3 floors over 10 floors, meron kang makukuhang 30%. So, ibig sabihin, 30% completed siya just by using your visual observation. Ganyan ang output method, no? Ano na ba'y natapos talaga? Ayan. Okay? O, di ba? Ganyan lang. Engineer or architect's method, ganyan niya lang i-apply. Pero, in accounting, hindi natin ito masyado ginagamit. Ang mas ginagamit natin for accounting purposes, guys, ay input method. Ang input method, kilala yan sa tawag na cost-to-cost approach. So, paano natin mako-compute or madedetermine ang percentage of completion by using the cost-to-cost approach? Formula natin, guys, pakitandaan. Percentage of completion is equal to construction cost incurred to date divided by estimated total construction cost. Pag sinabi natin construction cost incurred to date, meaning neto, okay, cumulative. Cumulative yung construction cost na numerator ni percentage of completion formula. Di ba? Tapos, yung estimated total construction cost, yan yung total cost na ini-expect ni contractor sa buong project. Okay? Now, paano natin kukumputin yung numerator? Paano naman natin kukumputin yung denominator? Okay. For the numerator, ang formula natin dyan, guys, ay prior period construction cost plus current period construction cost incurred. So, yung mga prior period cost natin, isasali ulit natin together with the current period cost, no? Para makompute natin ang tinatawag na construction cost incurred to date. Ayos? Okay. So, that's for your numerator. Yung denominator. How do you determine the estimated total construction cost? Madali lang yan, guys. Kung paano mo kinompute yung numerator mo, kasali yan para makompute yung estimated total construction cost. So, construction cost incurred to date plus estimated cost to complete. So, meron siyang element of estimation na, no? So, that is your estimated total construction cost. Madali lang, di ba? Ganyan lang ang formula natin. Okay? So, pakitandaan yan na dahil yung susunod na slide natin, sasagutan na natin ang first problem ng handout natin on construction contracts. Okay? Sige. So, problem number 1 tayo. For problem number 1, kung makikita nyo, may dalawang cases yan. Di ba? Pero, focus lang muna tayo sa case 1. Ang sabi sa case 1, the outcome of the project can be estimated reliably and we are asked to compute for the following requirements. 6 requirements yan. Sa case 1, the outcome can be estimated reliably. What do you think is the method to be used under case 1? That is percentage of completion. Very good. Okay. So, case 1 tayo, no? So, for the first problem, Tigreal Construction Corporation started a construction on a 40 million road project. Contract period is 5 years. Medyo matagal ito. Starting January 1, 2016, and we are provided the following data. Ayan. Di ba? Kompleto yung data natin. Okay. So, paano natin kukumputin ang mga requirements natin? Ifa-familiarize ko muna kayo sa gagawin natin dito sa table na nakikita natin sa screen, ha? Fa-familiarize ko kayo. Kasi ito na yung template natin hanggang matapos ang discussion. Okay? Sige. Now, ano yung una nating gagawin? Kukumputin natin yung estimated gross profit. In this table, ang una nating kukumputin ay estimated gross profit. I am sure may idea na kayo kay gross profit, no? Kasi usually, ano lang yan? Sales minus cost of goods sold. Pero, ia-apply lang natin ang concept ng gross profit sa construction contracts, no? So, ang selling price in terms of the construction contract will be contract price. For the cost of goods sold naman, gagawin lang natin siyang estimated total construction cost. Kumbaga, inano lang natin siya, anong tawag doon? Ginawa lang nating appropriate yung terms, no? Okay? Ginawa lang nating appropriate yung terms. Okay. So, to compute for your estimated gross profit, it is just simply the difference between contract price and the estimated total construction cost. I am sure, alam natin kung paano kinocompute yung estimated total construction cost. Napakita ko naman sa inyo. Tama? Kanina? Okay. So, paano yan? That is the cost incurred to date plus estimated cost to complete. Yung cost incurred to date, ina-add nyo lang yung prior period plus yung current period. That's your cost incurred to date. Malinaw? Plus estimated cost to complete. Ayan. Alright? So, yan ang una nating kukumputin. Estimated gross profit. Now, Di ba ang sabi ko sa inyo, pag construction contract, usually matagalan ito. So, ang estimated gross profit na makocompute natin kasi, hindi agad-agad pwede ma-recognize as profit. No? Hindi agad-agad yan pwede ma-recognize as profit. Take note 5 years yung contract. So, dapat yung revenue mo, kinakalat mo over 5 years. So, paano natin kukumputin yung profit na i-recognize natin for a certain period? Okay? Yung estimated gross profit na to, imumultiply mo sa percentage of completion mo. Ano formula niyan, sir? Binigay ko yan kanina. That is, cost incurred to date divided by estimated total cost. Okay? Connected lahat ng mga discussions ko kanina up to here. Connected yan. Gets? Okay. Ano naman tawag natin sa makukuha after you multiply the percentage of completion doon sa estimated gross profit? That is, realized gross profit to date. Basta dear students, okay? Pag nakikita nyo yung phrase na to date, meaning yan is cumulative. Palaging cumulative yan pag binabanggit na natin yung phrase na to date. Gets nyo ba? Palaging to date yan. Palaging cumulative yan. Gets? Okay. Pag sinabi kasi nating cumulative, pati yung prior periods, nasasali mo. Okay? Ang ultimate goal natin dito kasi is ito compute for your profit to be recognized for a certain period, which is usually 1 year. Okay? So, paano yon? Yung cumulative RGP mo, kailangan mo lang tanggalin yung prior period RGPs mo. Kaya, minaminosan nyo na natin yan ng RGP recognized in prior periods. Pag na-minus nyo na yung prior periods, mas-squeeze out nyo na lang ay yung realized gross profit or loss for the current period. Yun lang. Ganun lang. Ganyan nyo i-apply si percentage of completion. Gets? Alright. So, ganyan lang Yan lang ang template natin. Okay? Ganyan lang template natin hanggang matapos ang ating discussion. Okay. So, dito, kung makikita nyo, part 1, di ba? Kasi since 5 years yan, from 2016 to 2020 tayo. Kaso, pag pinagsabay ko sa isang slide lahat ng years, hindi natin mababasa. Kaya, hinati ko sa dalawa. So, for part 1, year 2016, 17, and 18 muna tayo. Okay? Tatapusin natin yung first 3 years dito. Then, on the next slide, nandyan yung last 2 years. Di ba? Para mabasa natin kung ano yung mga amounts natin. Alright? Ready na? Okay. Let's start with the first year. The first year is year 2016. What is the contract price? 40 million. Okay? So, start tayo sa 40 million contract price natin. Yan ang sabi sa problem. E di sundin natin. Contract price is 40 million. Okay. Firstly, yung next na gagawin natin, computein natin ang estimated total construction cost. Meron na ba tayong prior period cost incurred? Answer, tatandaan nyo lang, pag nasa first year pa lang tayo guys, walang prior period cost. Kasi first year pa lang, ngayon pa lang magsisimula, kaya walang prior period cost yan. Okay? Yan rule natin basic rule natin, pag first year, walang prior period cost. Current period cost, hanapin lang natin kung magkano yung actual cost incurred. Magkano yung actual cost incurred during 2016? That is 11.25 million. Kinokopya lang natin kung ano yung given. Okay? Sige. Next one. Estimated cost to complete. May given ba sa problem? Yes. Magkano yung estimated cost to complete? Or tatagalogin natin, magkano kaya yung estimated remaining cost para matapos yung construction project? Answer, 26.25 million. Di ba? Ganun lang. Pick out lang tayo ng amounts natin. Okay. How much is the estimated total construction cost? Paki-add lang yung tatlo. 0 plus 11.25 million plus 26.25 million. Magkano yan? 37.5. Oh. Magkano yung ini-estimate or expected gross profit from this contract? That is 2.5 million. Oh guys, ang sabi dito, 2.5 million ang magiging profit natin sa construction contract na to. Kaso, 5 years yung contract period. Therefore, bawal mo pang i-recognize ng buo ang 2.5 million profit mo. No? Ikakalat mo yan over 5 years. 2016 to 2020. So, paano natin hahatiin yan, sir? By determining the percentage of completion. Di ba? O, paano natin malalaman yung percentage of completion? Cost incurred to date divided by estimated total construction cost. O, in this case, in this year, prior period of 0 plus current period cost of 11.25 million divided by estimated total construction cost of 37.5. Oh, paki-compute. 11.25 divided by 37.5. Ilan yan? 30%. That's your percentage of completion as of December 31, 2016. Simply multiply it. 2.5 million times 30%. 30% pa lang ang pwede mong i-recognize. That is 750,000. Okay? Oh, pagdating natin sa RGP to date, meaning cumulative yan. Pag cumulative, dapat tinatanggal ang prior year. May prior year nga ba? Wala pa. Kasi nasa first year pa lang tayo. So, minus 0 ka lang dyan. Okay? So, your realized gross profit for the year 2016 is 750,000. Ito pa lang ang pwede mong ma-recognize. Ako ba'y naiintindihan? Okay? Yan lang ang pwedeng i-recognize. Ayos? So, natapos natin ang year 2016 natin. Okay? Paki-absorb kung ano yung mga ginawa natin. Alright? Di ba? Ganyan lang. Hanggang sa matapos natin tong kontratang to, ganyan at ganyan lang gagawin natin. 2017 tayo. For 2017, may nagbago ba sa contract price natin? Walang information, therefore, stay as 40 million. Yan ulit starting point natin. Di ba ang 2017, second year na siya? May prior year na ba tayo? May prior year na ba? Yes. For the prior year, guys, cumulative dapat yan. Diba? So, that would be, kokopyahin nyo lang yung current period cost ng 2016 as prior period ngayon. How much is the construction cost incurred during 2017? That is 6.3 million. Estimated cost to complete, 21.45 million. So, how much is your estimated total construction cost? 39 million. So, as of December 31, 2017, magkano yung ine-expect nating gross profit for this contract? 1 million. Sir, kala ko ba 2.5 million? Yes. As of December 31, 2016, ine-expect ni contractor 2.5 million. Pero pagdating ng 2017, ba't naging 1 million na lang? Because of increases in the prices of materials, labor, overhead, kaya nagkaganyan-ganyan. Nakuha ba? No? Talagang ganyan sa construction contracts, guys. Talagang magkakaroon ng changes sa estimates mo. No? Normal yan, yes. Okay? So, how do we account for those changes? Prospectively. How do we account? Prospectively. Pag sinabing prospectively, wag mo nang balikan ang prior year mo. Okay na yung prior year mo. Iwanan mo na siya doon. Ang gagalawin mo lang ay yung current and future periods mo. Gets? Okay. So, as of December 31, 2017, 1 million ang ine-expect na profit. Pero bawal niya pa yan i-recognize in full kasi second year pa lang ng contract period ang natatapos. Tandaan nyo, 5 years yung contract period. So, how do we determine the gross profit na pwede nang i-recognize? Multiply it by percentage of completion. Okay? So, how do you compute for the percentage of completion this time? 11.25 million plus 6.3 million, diba? Divided by 39 million. So, magkano yan? 45%. So, as of December 31, 2017, 45% completed na yung project. So, 1 million times 45%, 450,000. That's the realized gross profit to date. Pag second year, may prior period na ba? Yes. Ang prior period nyo nanggagaling palagi dito sa prior year. Kaya nga prior period yung prior year niya. Diba? So, 450 minus 750,000. Sa tingin nyo, may profit ba si contractor for the year 2017? Wala. Pero may loss siya. Magkano? 300,000. Sir, ba't ganon? Bigla siya naging loss. Kasi nga nagkaroon ng diba, ng increases sa cost, diba? So normally, mag-a-adjust prospectively yan, which is okay lang. Mag-a-adjust siya prospectively. Okay? Nakuha, no? So, ganyan ang year 2017 natin, guys. Yan ang nangyari. Dahil bumaba yung expected gross profit mo, bumaba rin yung ni-recognize mong gross profit or loss for the year 2017. Nakuha nyo ba? So, that's your second year. 2018 tayo. Ganun ulit. Magsisimula ulit tayo sa contract price. Contract price, may nagbago ba? Wala. Fixed price pa rin siyang 40 million. Next, prior period cost incurred. Anong sabi ko kanina? Pag prior period siya, cumulative. So, isasali mo yung cost ng 2016, pati na rin yung 2017. So, that would be 11.25 million plus 6.3. Magkano yan? 17.55 million. Tandaan nyo guys pag prior period, cumulative tayo. Okay? Hindi lang yung immediate prior period ang isasali mo. Pati lahat ng prior period na nagdaan na. Okay? Magkano yung cost during 2018? 7.95 million. Estimated cost to complete? 17 million. So, what would be the estimated total construction cost? 42.5. Ano nangyari? Contract price ni contractor 40 lang. Pero ba't ang estimated cost niya ay mas mataas? Ano nangyari? Nag-expect siyang magkakaroon na ng total loss ang kontrata natin. Magkano yung expected gross loss ng kontrata? 2.5 million. Naku po, bakit pagdating ng December 31, 2018, wala nang expected gross profit pero nangyari expected gross loss na? How do we account for that? Okay? Bago ko sabihin yung sagot sa tanong ko, tuloy muna natin. Alamin natin yung percentage of completion to date, no? Magkano ang percentage of completion as of December 31, 2018? 17.55 million plus 7.95 million divided by 42.5. Ilang porsyento? 60%. So, as of December 31, 2018, 60% completed na yung contract. Kaso, ang problema kasi, hindi na gross profit, but gross loss. Anong sabi ni PFRS 15 sa ganitong issue? If si contractor nag-e-expect na ng gross loss, kailangan niya nang i-accrue yan in full. Due to conservatism principle in accounting. Sir, anong ibig sabihin accrual in full? Hindi mo na imumultiply sa percentage of completion yung expected gross loss mo. Kumbaga, ididiretso mo na agad siya as your realized gross profit or loss to date. No? Kaya, 2.5 million siya. Okay, nakita nyo? Yung 2.5 million, hindi na siya minultiplyan sa percentage of completion. Pag loss, accrual or accrue in full na agad siya. Recognize it full. recognize that full. Huwag mo na siyang i-multiply sa percentage of completion. Regardless of the percentage of completion, you will accrue or recognize it at 100% due to conservatism principle. Okay? Then, normal process na tayo. Kailangan mong i-minus yung realized gross profit or loss recognized in prior periods. No? So, that would be minus 450,000. Ang i-recognize na loss for the year 2018, masyadong malaki, 2.95 million. Nakuha? So, yung buong 2.5 million, ni-recognize niya na as total loss for the year 2018. Clear? So, pakitandaan yung ganong rule, no? Pag nag-expect na ng gross loss si contractor, recognize it at 100%, regardless of your percentage of completion. Gets? Okay. So, guys, tapos natin yung first 3 years natin, no? Okay? So, si number 1, pwede na natin yan masagutan partially. Ang kaya pa lang natin masagutan dyan ay 2016 through 2018. Realized gross profit or loss for the years 2016 through 2018. Sagot natin, 2016 natin, eto, 750,000 profit. Sa 2017, 300,000 loss. Tapos sa 2018, 2.95 million loss. That's for number 1. Pero hindi pa yan tapos kasi kailangan pa yung 2019-2020 later. Next, kaya bang masagutan yung number 2? Yes. Percentage of completion as of December 31, 2016 through 2020. Ano sagot natin? Ito lang guys. 30% as of December 31, 2016. As of December 31, 2017, 45%. And as of December 31, 2018, 60%. Okay? So, that's your number 2. Ayos? Nakuha, Now, number 3, kaya ba sagutan? Partially, yes. Kayang sagutan siya. Percentage completed for the years 2016 through 2018. Saan ang pinagkaiba niya sa number 2? Kasi parang pareho lang no? Percentage of completion as of at yung percentage completed for the year. Pag sinabi nating as of, cumulative yan. Kaya ang sagot natin sa number 2, yung mga nakabilog. Pero pag ang tinanong mismo, percentage completed for the year, kukunin mo mismo yung mga changes ng percentage natin. Okay? Sagutin natin For number 3, for the year 2016, percentage completed for the year 2016 is 30% talaga. Kasi first year yan, guys. First year ito, no? From 0 to 30%, 30% completed during 2016. Pagdating ng 2017, ko-compare mo itong dalawang to. Magkano increase sa percentage of completion during 2017? From 30, naging 45, nag-add ito ng 15% completion. So, yan ang sagot nyo for the year 2017. Okay? For 2018, ganun din. Kukompare mo lang yung percentage of completion as of December 31, 2017 at yung percentage of completion as of 2018. How much is that? That is 15%. Nakuha? So, ang sagot natin for number 3, 30% for the year 2016, 15% for the year 2017, and 15% for the year 2018. Ayos? Sa ngayon guys, hanggang dyan pa lang kaya ng powers natin. No? Kailangan na nating ituloy sa second part ito. Ayos? Nakuha naman so far. Okay. Second part tayo. The same format. Yun nga lang, tuloy na natin. Ready na Okay. Ganon ulit. Contract price. Magkano? 40 million pa rin. Walang pagbabago. Fixed price contract to kasi. Prior period cost incurred. How much? i-add nyo lang yung construction cost ng 2016 through 2018, no? So that would be 11.25 million plus 6.3 million plus 7.95 million. Magkano yan? 25.5 million. Current period cost incurred, that is 7,225,000. Estimated cost to complete, that is 5,775,000. Estimated total construction cost for the year 2019, 38.5. Uy, ayun, medyo nag-normalize kasi mas mababa na ulit sa contract price. So magkano na ine-expect nating gross profit for this contract? That is 1.5 million. Diba? Now, percentage of completion ulit tayo. 25.5 million plus 7,225,000 divided by 38.5. Ilan na yan? 85%. Cumulative. Okay? So, paki-multiply na. Dahil profit na ulit, paki-multiply. How much is the 85% of 1.5 million? 1,275,000. Kaso guys, cumulative pa yan. Kailangan natin tanggalin yung mga prior periods natin. Yung prior period natin, magkano ba? Magkano ba yung prior period natin? Di ba yan yung 2.5 million kanina? Natatandaan nyo? Okay. So, pag negative yung prior period mo, negative, it will become positive. So, instead na magma-minus ka ng 2.5 million, ia-add mo. Sir, bakit siya ia-add? Akala ko ba minus? Oo, dapat minus nga. Kaso, naka-loss siya kanina, di ba? Naka-loss siya. So, pag pinagsama mo ang dalawang negative, it will become positive. Rule of math. Rule of math yan, guys. Okay? Sige. Malinaw, ah? So, how much is the realized gross profit for the year 2019? 3,775,000. Ayos? Okay. So, yan na. Anong ibig sabihin pag ang loss mo last year biglang naging positive ngayon? Nag-reverse yung loss mo. Nag-reverse siya. Ganon kasaya. Biglang nag-reverse yung loss mo. Nakabawi, kumbaga. Gets? Okay. So, for year 2019, 3,775,000 ang i-recognize na gross profit. Last year na tayo. Year 2020. May pagbabago ba sa contract price? Wala. 40 million pa rin, no? Then, less estimated total construction cost. Prior period mo. Add mo na lahat ng cost from 2016 to 2019. 11.25 million plus 6.3 million plus 7.95 million plus 7.225 million. Magkano na siya? 32,725,000. 2020 construction cost incurred, magkano? 5,275,000. Next, may estimated cost to complete pa ba? Answer is, wala na. Bakit sir wala na? Last year of construction period na yan eh. So wala ka nang i-estimate kasi tapos na yung construction mo. Nakuha ba ko? That's why, hindi na siya estimated total construction cost guys, but rather, total or actual total construction cost na siya. Okay? So, dahil actual construction cost na siya, hindi na estimated gross profit makikita natin, but actual gross profit of 2 million. Ayos ba tayo? Ganun lang. No? Ganun lang tayo. Actual gross profit yan. Okay? Ganun ulit. Percentage of completion. Pag final year of construction period na guys, kahit wag na kayo mag-compute kasi palaging 100% na siya. 100% completed na siya. Ayaw nyo maniwala? Di-add nyo itong dalawang to, i-multiply nyo siya dito. Makukuha nyo pa rin 100%. Ganyan ang case kapag final year of construction na. Nakuha ba ko? Okay? Sige. Ayos, no? Oh, 2 million times 100%. Baka ika-calculate nyo pa yan. Magkano? 2 million. Then, minus mo na lang yung prior year natin. Yung RGP recognized in prior periods, which is 1,275,000. So, how much is your realized gross profit? That is 725,000. Okay? Sa wakas, natapos natin ang analysis natin para sa realized gross profit. Okay? Now, sir, ba't parang hanggang estimated cost to complete lang ang kinukuha natin yung data? What about the progress billings and the cash collections? Ay, mamaya natin i-account yan, guys, no? Ano mo lang muna, isa-isahin lang muna natin, no? Kasi nga, sabi ko sa inyo, marami yung procedures for accounting for construction contracts. Kaya iniisa-isa natin. Nakuha ba ako? Ayan. Malinaw, no? Okay. Tignan natin kung ano na ang kayang sagutan ulit. Number 1. Tuloy nyo lang. For the year 2019, our GP is 3,775,000. Then for the year 2020, 725,000. Okay? Malinaw, no? Ayan. Number 2, percentage of completion as of December 31, 2019, 2020. Sagot natin, 85% December 31, 2019 and 100% December 31, 2020. Next, number 3, percentage completed. For the year 2019, magkano yung kanina? Yung 2018 natin. Di ba 60%? Tas naging 85%? So, from 60%, biglang naging 85%. Nag-add siya ng 25% completion. So, for the year 2019, nag-add siya ng 25%. Then, for the year 2020, from 85 naging 100 plus 15%. Okay? So, yung continuation ng sagot natin for number 3 ay 25% for the year 2019 and 15% for the year 2020. Okay? Kung mapapansin niyo yung sagot natin sa numbers 2 and 3, papunta siya ng 100%. 30, 45, 60, 85, 100% for number 2. Sa number 3 naman, pag-add nyo lang yung limang percentage natin. 30 plus 15 plus 15 plus 25 plus 15. 100% pa rin. Gets? Okay. Ayos na? Next one. Natapos na natin numbers 1, 2, and 3. What about number 4, sir? Paano natin kukumpitin ang number 4? Okay? Construction revenue for the years 2016 through 2020, may sarili tayong slide for that. Under the percentage of completion, construction revenue, the formula will be contract price. So sundan nyo ako. Contract price times percentage completed during the period. Okay? So, ganun guys, no? Ang construction revenue natin under POC, no? Percentage of completion, tandaan nyo, nasa method number 1 pa lang tayo. Percentage of completion natin, construction revenue will be equal to contract price times percentage completed during the period, not the percentage of completion as of December 31. Hindi yung cumulative, but rather yung incremental percentage lang. Nakuha ba ako? So, paano yan, sir? Tignan nyo. For 2016, contract price times 30%. So, construction revenue natin for the year 2016, 12 million. 2017, ayan, napapansin nyo. Kung ano yung sagot nyo sa number 3, minumultiply lang natin siya sa contract price natin. So, times 15%, 6 million for 2017. For 2018, the same answer. Okay? 2019, 25%, magkano yan? 10 million. Then for 2020, 6 million. Okay? So, ganyan. Ganyan ang computation ng construction revenue natin under your percentage of completion. Klaro? Okay? Now, di ba ang contract price natin 40 million? So, dapat, pag pinag-add nyo itong mga to, mag-equal yan sa 40 million. No? Test nga natin. Baka mamaya mali pala itong nasa slide ko. 12 plus 6 plus 6 plus 10 plus 6. Tama ba? Yes. Klaro? Okay. Sir, yan lang ba ang method natin? Answer is, actually, meron pang alternative method. Ano yung alternative method? Okay. Tingnan nyo ha. Ang alternative method natin, ganito lang. Construction revenue to date. Oh, may to date na naman. Pag sinabing to date, cumulative. Di ba? Pero, maminusan nyo siya ng construction revenue recognized in prior periods. Then, makukuha nyo yung construction revenue for the current year. Nakuha ba? Okay. Sige. Paano natin gagawin yan, sir? Paano natin gagawin ito? Okay. So, 2016 until 2020 gagawin natin. Take note ha. Dapat kung ano yung mga nakuha natin dito sa primary table natin, yan din makukuha dito. Alternative lang naman kasi ito eh. Ready? Okay. How do you compute for the construction revenue to date? Lagyan natin ang formula para may guide tayo. Contract price times percentage of completion, which is cumulative. Cumulative yan. Ready na? Okay. Construction revenue to date for 2016, 12 million. So that's 40 million times 30%. Tama ba? Okay. Dapat mag-minus tayo ng construction revenue in prior periods. Meron ba? Wala. Kasi first year pa lang yan eh. So your construction revenue for the current year 2016 is 12 million. Sakto? Yes. 2017. What's the construction revenue to date? 18 million. Sir, paano nakuha 18 million? Madali lang. 40 million times your percentage of completion as of December 31, 2017. How much is that? 40 million times 45%. 40 million times 45%. That is 18 million. Kaso, kailangan mong tanggalin yung prior period construction revenue recognized, which is 12 million. Kaya, magiging 6 siya. Clear? Okay? Ganun lang. 2018. That is 40 million times 60%. O, di ba? Then minus 18 million, 6 siya ulit. O, di ba? Na 2019, 40 million times 85%, 34 million minus 24 million, 10 million pa din yan. Then for the year 2020, 40 million times 100% na. Minus 34 mo, 6 million. Nakuha ba ako? Diba? Ganun lang. Dapat magbangga dahil alternative method lang to. So, these are your answers for number 4. 12 million for the year 2016, 6 million for the year 2017, 6 million for the year 2018, 10 million for the year 2019, and 6 million for the year 2020. Clear? Okay. Oh, last two. Pagdating sa last two natin, guys, ano yan eh, mga financial statement presentation na, no? Pero bago yan, bigyan ko kayo ng mga proforma journal entries natin. So, ano ba ang mga gino-journalize natin for construction contracts? Number 1, incurrence of construction costs. Number 2, revenue recognition. Number 3, recording of progress billings. And number 4, recording of cash collections. So, paano ba natin gino-journalize pag naka-incur na tayo ng construction cost? Diba? So, ang journal entry natin dyan is simply debit, construction in progress. CIP stands for construction in progress, credit, cash, or any other appropriate account title. Pero dito cash na lang, no? For simplicity lang. Pwede kayo gumamit ng ibang appropriate titles din. Nakuha ba? Ayan. So, ganyan lang. Debit ka lang ng construction in progress, credit, cash. Sir, ano ang nature ng CIP account? What's the nature of the CIP account? CIP account or construction in progress account is an inventory account. Inventory ni contractor. So, dahil inventory account siya, CIP is a current asset. Okay? Malinaw? Next, construction revenue recognition. How do we recognize our construction revenue? That is, debit, construction cost. Pag construction cost, guys, expense yan na. Expense yan. Then, credit, construction revenue. So, pag sinabi kong construction cost, this is an expense account. Ang construction revenue is obviously revenue account. Di ba? Now, normally, hindi talaga bumabangga ang construction cost at construction revenue. So, meron tayong mga balancing figure sa gitna nila. No? Ano yung balancing figure sa gitna nila? It's either realized gross profit or realized gross loss. So, saan natin pinapasok ang realized gross profit or loss? Pinapasok yan sa CIP account. Gets? Paki-take note ha. Ang RGP or RGL, pinapasok sa CIP account. So, pag RGP yan, guys, no? Teka, lagyan natin ng ng note. So, yung difference neto ni construction cost at ni revenue, it can either be realized gross profit or realized gross loss. Magkakaroon ka ng realized gross profit if the construction revenue is higher than construction costs. Tama naman ako. Tama? Then, magkakaroon ka ng realized gross loss if the construction revenue is less than the construction costs. Basic concept lang siya. Okay? Now, pag RGP, sa tingin nyo, nasaan yung balancing figure? Nasa debit ba or nasa credit? Answer, nasa debit. Diba? So, pag RGP, magde-debit ka ng CIP. Naiintindihan ba ako? Magde-debit ka ng CIP kapag RGP yan. Then, kapag RGL, i-credit mo yung CIP. Okay? Tandaan nyo ang CIP is an asset account. So, kapag may profit ka, which is directly related to your asset, mag-increase yan. Then, otherwise, pag may loss, babawasan mo yung asset mo. Gets? Ganun lang. Whether RGP or RGL, sa CIP ang pasok. Gets? Okay. Next, progress billings. How do you record progress billings? Simply debit, accounts receivable, credit, progress billings account. Okay? Debit, accounts receivable, credit, progress billings account. Ganun lang siya kadali. Kapag nagpapadala ka ng billings, syempre magsiset up ka na ng receivable account mo. No? Next, recording of cash collections. Alam naman natin yan. Simply debit ka lang naman ng cash and AR, tama? Pero pagdating kasi ng construction contract, may unique provision dyan. So, ano ba entry muna? Debit, cash ka. Okay? Pero pag construction contract kasi, usually merong retention clause sa kontrata. Ano ibig sabihin ng retention clause? May certain amount na wini-withheld yung customer from the contractor. let's say, ang sabi sa kontrata, every billing may 10% na i-withhold ang customer from the contractor. So, let's say, sinisingil ka ni contractor ng 5 million. Diba? Hindi mo babayaran yung buong 5 million. Magwi-withhold ka ng 10% ng 5 million or ng billings. Nakuha ba ako? Magwi-withhold ka ng 10% ng billings. So, yung 10% na 500,000 sa kamay muna ng customer, no? Okay? Then hindi niya agad-agad matatanggap 'yan. So dito, entry nun? Debit cash, debit, contract retention. Kung meron lang. Then credit, accounts receivable. So in my case, yung binigay ko sa inyong example kanina, let's say, no, ang pinadalang billing sa'yo ng contractor mo, 5 million. So, si contractor nag-debit ng AR, 5 million, at nag-credit ng progress billings na 5 million. Okay? Pero pagdating kasi sa collection, may 10% na i-withhold si customer. So, that would be 5 million times 1 minus 0.1. So, magkano ito? That is 4.5 million. Okay? Credit mo yung AR mo, 5 million. Kikredit mo yung AR mo, 5 million. Pero, yung 10%, ipapasok ni contractor yan as under contract retention. Diba? Ano yung contract retention account? It is a receivable account na rin. It is a receivable account. Kumbaga, sineset up lang ito ni contractor para i-document or maging malinaw sa libro niya na may mga retention amounts na nasa kamay pa ni customer. Okay? Para saan ba yung contract retention, sir? This is for security purposes. Kaya nagwi-withhold ng certain portion si customer kasi para lang masiguradong matatapos ito ni contractor. Matatapos ni contractor yung project. Kaya siya nagwi-withhold ng certain percentage. Okay? Pero pag natapos naman kasi yung project, lahat nung ma-withhold ni customer kay contractor, ibabayad niya din yan. Ibabayad niya din yan. Nakuha ba? Ibabayad niya lang din. So, alam nyo na yung kwento ng mga journal entries natin. Okay? Ayan. Malinaw? O, kompleto tayo. May journal entries ka, may kwento ka pa para maintindihan nyo kung bakit nagkakaganyan ang mga journal entries natin. Okay? O, next one. Ito na yung financial statement presentation natin. So, pag sinabi nating financial statement presentation, papasok ulit dito ang tinatawag nating contract assets, contract liability. Na-encounter nyo na to sa first lecture video ng PFRS 15, no? So, hindi na ito bago sa inyo. So, how do we present the accounts related to construction contracts? That is, construction in progress minus progress billings. At dyan, lalabas ang contract asset or contract liability. So sir, ang pinipresent natin is net amount. Yes, net amount ang pinipresent natin, no? Yung net amount, it will be a contract asset or a contract liability. So, paano natin malalaman kung may contract asset or contract liability? That is, titignan nyo muna kung sino mas mataas na amount, no? Is it the CIP or the progress billings? If in the case na mas mataas ang CIP kaysa sa progress billings, ang ibig sabihin yan, yung tinrabaho mo, yung value ng tinrabaho mo, ay mas malaki na sa amount na sinisingil mo sa customer. Therefore, meron kang receivable under the contract. Anong tawag kapag may receivable ka under the contract? Contract asset. O, diba? Ganun lang yung kwento kung paano natin malalaman kung may contract asset or may contract liability. Okay? Ang contract asset is a receivable account. Yun nga lang, conditional. Just like what I mentioned in our previous lecture video on PFRS 15. Diba? Si contract asset, kilala din sa tawag na due from customer. Pag sinabing due from customer, may receivable ka kay customer. Gets? Next one. Pag ang progress billings mo naman ay mas mataas kesa sa CIP, meaning yan, mas mataas yung sinisingil mo kesa sa tinrabaho mo. Under the contract, nakalagay naman dyan kung magkano yung sisingilin mo. Therefore, you have to abide with the contract. Diba? For accounting purposes, dyan lang natin nire-reconcile si accounting at yung law. No? Law on contracts. So, pag mas malaki yung amount na sinisingil mo kesa sa tinrabaho mo, meron kang contract liability. Pag sinabi natin contract liability, unearned income yan. Nakuha ba? No? Unearned income. You will receive the cash in advance. Kaya unearned income or contract liability. Contract liability is also known as due to customer or may utang ka kay customer mo. Clear? O, di ba? Ganun lang. Ang ipipresent lang palagi natin, ito, contract asset or contract liability. Yan lang ipipresent nyo. Ininet nyo lang yung CIP at progress billings. Okay? Now, paano ba natin kinocompute yung construction in progress? Paano ba natin kinocompute yung progress billings? Okay, isa-isa lang tayo. Construction in progress. How do you compute for your construction in progress? Cost plus RGP or minus RGL. Alinsunod ito sa mga journal entries natin kanina, kung nasundan nyo yung journal entries natin kanina, di ba? So, ganun lang. Pag cost incurred, dinidebit nyo si CIP. Pag RGP, dinidebit si CIP. Pag RGL, kinikredit nyo si CIP. Di ba? Kaya yan yung computation ng construction in progress. Gets? Now, yung progress billings account, ano lang yan? Cumulative lang palagi. Kung magkano yung binibill mo ng amount during the contract period, yun na yung progress billings mo. Okay? Ganun lang ang computation ng progress billings. Cumulative lang siya. Magkano ba binil mo ng 2016? Magkano binil mo ng 2017? Magkano binil mo ng 2018? Add mo lang yun. Yun na agad yung progress billings. Okay? Sige. Ayan. Tapusin na natin. Masyado na tayong tumagal sa case 1. Masyado nating in-enjoy ang case 1 natin. Okay. So for these numbers 5 and 6, what would be the construction in progress account as of December 31, 2018 and number 6, contract asset or contract liability? 2019 naman. Okay. Yan lang muna tayo Number 5 muna tayo. For number 5, computein natin ang CIP natin. Okay. Start from 2016, no? So, since that is the first year, guys, wala ka munang laman dyan. Wala kang laman. Construction cost incurred. Magkano ba yung cost incurred natin ng 2016? Kopyahin lang natin. That is 11.25 million. Then, for the year 2016, anong meron? Realized gross profit ba or loss? Profit. So, mag-a-add tayo ng 750,000. So, magkano CIP ng December 31, 2016? That is 12 million. Familiar yung amount nung ending balance? Yes. Ano yan? Construction revenue kasi yan. That's the construction revenue. So sir, ibig sabihin, pwede ring sabihin ng CIP account kung magkano yung revenue? Normally, yes, pero not in all cases. Tignan nyo Ba't ko sinabi not in all cases? May certain cases kasi na hindi siya representative ng revenue. Tignan nyo lang. Hanggang 2018 tayo. No? 2017. May January 1, 2017 account na ba tayo? Answer is yes. Iaakyat lang natin ito dito. So, 12 million. Yung ending balance ng prior year, magiging beginning balance ng current year. Okay? Construction cost incurred natin 2017, magkano? 6.3 million. Next, ano yung nangyari ng 2017? Gross profit, gross loss. Naka-loss. Kaya, magmaminus tayo ng 300,000. So, magkano ang CIP 2017 natin? 12 million plus 6.3 million minus 300,000. 18 million. Tama ba? Yan yung construction revenue natin ng December 31, 2017. Answer is yes. Siya pa rin. Yan yung cumulative revenue natin. Okay? So ngayon, proportionate pa rin sila. Representative pa rin. Now, 2018 tayo. Tuloy natin ha. January 1, 2018. Akyat lang ulit si 18 million. Magkano yung cost incurred 2018? 7.95 million. Next, ano nangyari? 'Di ba ang laki masyado nung loss? 2.95 million. So magkano ang balanse ng December 31, 2018 CIP natin? 18 million plus 7.95 million minus 2.95 million. 23 million. Representative pa rin ba? Answer, hindi na. Kaya sinasabi ko, not in all cases na representative ng revenue, ng construction revenue, si CIP. May certain cases na magdi-disproportionate na sila. What causes the disproportionment? The accrual of the loss. The accrual of the loss. Regardless of the percentage of completion. Kasi, 100% siya ni-recognize. Kaya na disproportionate na. Diba? So, starting from 2018, hindi na magiging representative ng revenue CIP. Nakuha ba? Okay? Ayan. So, ang sagot natin sa number 5, eto, si 23 million. Yan ang sagot natin. Kasi tignan nyo yung date, December 31, 2018. What would be the CIP account balance as of December 31, 2018? 23 million. Ayos? Okay. Next, number 6, the last one. December 31, 2019, contract asset or contract liability. So, how do we determine the contract asset or contract liability? Answer is, ininet nyo lang. Nakuha ba? Ninet nyo lang yan. Now, ang problema natin is, magkano yung CIP as of December 31, 2019? Tuloy natin dito sa taas. Okay lang? Okay. So, ayan. 23 million. Magkano yung cost incurred ng 2019? 2019. Tama, 2019. Okay. So, that is 7,225,000. Ano resulta? 3,775,000. So, magkano yan? That is 34 million. Alright. So, CIP, December 31, 2019, lagay natin dito. That is 34 million. Progress billings as of December 31, 2019. Balikan nyo yung problem. Magkano yung mga progress billings? Okay? Tignan nyo. 2016, 15 million yung pinadalhang billings. 2017, 5 million. 2018, 8 million. Then 2019, 9 million. Paki-add lang. Magkano na yung total billings to date? That is 37 million. Paki-minus. 34 minus 37, 3 million. Positive, negative? Negative. Bakit siya naging negative? Mas malaki yung mga sinisingil mo na kesa sa work done mo. Therefore, anong tawag kay 3 million? That is contract liability. So, final answer for number 6 is 3 million contract liability. Sinisingil mo na si customer ng total of 37 million, pero yung work done mo, 34 million pa lang. So, may utang ka pa kay customer. Gets? Hay, sa wakas, natapos natin ang case number 1 natin. Okay? Ayan. Ayos, nakakapagod, no? Guys, case 1 pa lang to. Hindi pa tayo nakakapunta ng case 2. Lahat ng diniscuss ko to date ay percentage of completion pa lang. Sir, ganun pala kahaba? Yes, ganun kahaba itong construction contracts natin, kaya may sarili siyang lecture video. Okay? Okay lang? Gising pa ang lahat? Dapat lang, kasi itutuloy natin sa case 2 ito. Oh, case 2, outcome cannot be estimated reliably. Pag hindi mo ma-estimate ang magiging outcome ng construction project mo, anong method gagamitin natin? Pwede pa ba si percentage of completion? Hindi na pwede. Ano na? Zero profit na. Zero profit na. So how do we apply the zero profit method? Okay? Sa zero profit method, ganito yung magiging magiging format. Halos the same siya sa percentage of completion kung makikita nyo. Kasi, kukompute nyo pa rin yung estimated gross profit kasi. Okay? Hanggang estimated gross profit, pareho sila. Pero yung mga kasunod, mamaya ko sasabihin ko ano yan. Okay? So, ganun pa rin. Start tayo ulit ng 2016, pero mabilis na tayo, guys. Kasi, nakuha na natin yung mga data from our case 1. Okay? Sige. So, ganito pa din naman ang laman. 2016, contract price, 40 million, blah, 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 blah. So, estimated gross profit is 2.5 million. Diba? So, si contractor dito, in-estimate niya may gross profit. Kaso, he or she cannot estimate the outcome. So, pag hindi niya kayang i-estimate yung outcome, yung estimated cost to complete, unreliable. Unreliable ito. Okay? So, kung nakikita niya, nag-expect siya ng profit, bawal niyang i-recognize yan. Kaya nga tinawag na zero profit Kasi hindi siya pwede mag-recognize ng profit hanggat hindi tapos ang project. Hanggat hindi tapos ang project, hindi siya pwede mag-recognize. Okay? So, paano mangyari, sir? After the estimated gross profit, mawawala na yung percentage of completion. Yun lang naman ang nawala, no? Okay? Yun lang naman ang nawala doon. Yun lang. Now, ito lang tatandaan nyo pag zero profit. If your estimated gross profit is positive, your realized gross profit to date is 0. Tandaan nyo, pag ang estimated gross profit mo positive, automatically 0 ang RGP to date mo. Then, tuloy mo lang, less RGP recognized in prior periods. Since first year, 0 yan. So, RGP for the year 2016, 0. Kaya siya tinawag na zero profit. Naintindihan? Mas madali si zero profit. Ganyan lang. 0 lang palagi siya pag naka-positive yung estimated gross profit. Okay? Tuloy natin, 2017. Ganyan pa rin ang laman. Estimated gross profit is 1 million. Positive. 0 agad yan. 0. Since hindi ka naman nag-recognize ng profit last year, 0 yan. So, RGP for the year 2017, 0 pa rin. Naiintindihan? Ganun lang. Ganun lang siya. Okay? 2018. Eto na. Tama ba? Gross loss of 2.5 million in-expect natin. Yes. Loss. Pag ang estimated gross profit mo, negative naman, iba ang rule natin. Pag negative yan, you need to recognize that in full. You need to recognize that in full. Okay? So, ang rule natin, lagay natin dito. Under the zero profit method, if your estimated gross profit is positive, then your RGP to date or cumulative RGP is 0. If your estimated gross profit is negative, then your RGP to date will be equal to your estimated gross loss. I-recognize mo kasi siya in full. Nakuha ba? Ayan, no? Dahil 2.5, kinopya lang natin. Then, less RGP recognized in prior periods, 0. Kasi wala ka naman ni-recognize ng 2016-2017. So, magre-report ka ng realized gross loss for 2018 amounting to 2.5 million. Are we all clear? Okay? So, ayan. Substantially done agad yung zero profit natin. O, tuloy natin. 2019. Tama naman, yung estimated gross profit natin, 1.5 million pa rin. The same data. O, estimated gross profit mo, positive na. Tama? So, pag positive, RGP to date, 0. Ganun pa rin, kasi hindi pa rin tapos yung project. Pagdating sa RGP recognized in prior periods, abay, iba ang usapan. Kasi 'di ba, nag-recognize ka ng loss kanina? Nag-recognize ka ng loss kanina, 'di ba? So, nag-recognize ka ng loss na magkano? 2.5 million loss. So, dahil negative 'yon, ginawa mo ulit negative, magiging positive siya. So, your RGP for the year 2019 is 2.5 million. O sir, kala ko ba bawal ka mag-recognize ng profit? May exception sa zero profit method. General rule natin is bawal ka mag-recognize ng profit. But in the case na nagkaroon ka ng loss, pwede ka mag-recognize ng profit to the extent of the loss recognized lang. Kumbaga, ni-reverse mo lang yung loss na ni-report mo in your prior periods. So, since nag-report ka ng loss na 2.5 million last year, ni-reverse mo lang siya dito. Naiintindihan ba? Ni-reverse mo lang yung loss. Okay? So, yung 2.5 million profit ng 2019 is simply equal to the loss of 2018. Are we all clear? Ayan. Okay? Malinaw, na? Basta tatandaan nyo, general rule natin sa zero profit method, hindi ka pwede mag-recognize ng profit. Unless na lang kung may i-reverse kang loss. Gets? Okay. 2020. Oh, 2020. Last year of construction project. Anong sabi ko pagdating sa last year? Naka-actual na silang lahat. Kasi kung titignan nyo, ang estimated cost to complete is already 0. Kaya lang tayo nag-zero profit kapag yung gross profit, ang estimated gross profit mo, positive, kasi unreliable ito, si estimated gross profit. Ay, unreliable yung estimated cost to complete. Tama? Pero pagdating ng last year of the construction period, 0 na kasi yung estimated cost to complete mo, di ba? So, yung information na mapoproduce for the last period is already reliable. So, yung 2 million gross profit mo is your actual gross profit. Kaya, ang realized gross profit to date will be 2 million na. Naintindihan ba ako? Mangyayari lang yan kapag final year of the construction project. Okay? Mangyayari lang yan kapag final year na siya. Hindi mangyayari yan hanggat hindi pa final year. Gets? Okay. Then, less the RGP recognized in prior periods, 0 out ulit. Kaya, RGP for the year 2020 is 2 million. Tapos na natin yung RGP natin for the case number 2. Okay? Oh, sagot na natin. Number 1. RGP for the years 2016 through 2020. For the year 2016, dictate ko na lang, no? Dahil tinuloy-tuloy natin kanina eh. 0, 2017, 0, 2018 mo, negative 2.5 million. Then, 2019, may profit kang 2.5 million. Mapapansin nyo, fully reverse lang yung loss. Then, for the year 2020, meron kang 2 million profit. Gets? Ayan. Oh, number 2, construction revenue for the years 2016 through 2020. How do you compute for the construction revenue under the zero profit? Ito lang tatandaan nyo. Paano ba nagkakaroon ng zero profit? If the revenue is equal to the cost. Therefore, for the construction revenue under your zero profit method, it will be simply equal to the contract cost. Eh sir, di ba zero profit? So dapat zero revenue. Ay wag. Wag. Bakit? Kasi pag ang revenue ginawa nyong zero, may cost. Kaya maglo-loss siya kapag ganun. Di ba? Kaya pag tatandaan nyo, magkaiba ang revenue sa profit. Ang profit is equal to the difference between revenue and cost. Para lang magkaroon ng zero profit, revenue is equal to the cost. Gets? Okay. So, tignan nyo paano to. To compute for your construction revenue for zero profit method, construction cost current year, add mo yung RGP na i-recognize mo or magmo-minus ka ng RGL para ma-compute mo ang construction revenue under your zero profit method. Okay? Gagawin nyo yan for year 2016 through year 2020. Ready na? Okay. 2016, magkano yung construction cost natin? 11.25 million. May ni-recognize ka bang RGP? Wala. May RGL ba? Wala. Kaya, construction revenue mo is 11.25 million for 2016. 2017, construction cost? 6.3 million. May na-recognize ka bang RGP or RGL? Wala rin. So, 0 lang yung dalawa. Alright? So, 6.3 million ang revenue for the year 2017. 2018, construction cost? 7.95 million. May ni-recognize ba tayong RGP? Wala. Pero, may loss tayong ni-recognize na 2.5 million. Kaya minus siya. So, the construction revenue is 5.45 million. Are we all clear? Are we all clear? Tama naman na magkakaroon talaga tayo ng realized gross loss if the revenue is less than the construction cost. Gets? Okay. 2019, 7,225,000 construction costs for 2019. May RGP? Yes, yung 2.5 million. Kaya, bigla taas naman yung revenue. Guys, tama naman, di ba? May profit pag mas mataas ang revenue. Di ba? Ganun lang naman. Mas mataas ang profit ay mas mataas ang revenue pag may profit. Gets? Okay. Kaya nagkaganyan ang 2019 natin. Then for 2020, construction cost, then plus 2 million. Ayan. So ang sagot natin for number 2, eto. Okay, so that's for number 2. Number 3. CIP na naman, tsaka contract asset, contract liability. Ipag-isang slide na lang natin. So for number 3, ganun pa rin naman ang magiging formula natin for CIP, no? The same formula yan. Okay? Ready na? So for 2016, okay? Beginning niya is 0. Construction cost incurred, nasaan na yun? Hanapin ko lang. Ayan. Construction cost incurred mo is 11.25 million. Wala kang RGP or RGL, so December 31 mo is 11.25 million. January 1, 2017, 11.25 million. Construction cost, 6.3 million. Wala pa ring RGP. Di ba? Wala pa rin tayong ni-recognize na RGP dyan. So, magkano to? Plus 6.3. That is 17.55 million. Okay, next. 2018. Magkano beginning balance ng CIP 2018? 17.55 million. Okay. Construction cost is magkano? 7.95 million. Eh, di ba may ni-recognize tayong realized gross loss? 2.5 million. Okay. So, magkano to? Plus 7.95 million minus 2.5 million. That is 23 million. So, ang sagot natin for number 3 is 23 million. Okay? So, that's your number 3. Then, last one. Tapusin na natin tong problem 1. Number 4, eto yon. CIP minus progress billings. Ganun lang. No? Tuloy lang natin ang 2019. Kaya kailangan natin yung 2019 dito. So, 23 million plus magkano yung cost incurred ng 2019? 7,225. Then, may RGP na ba tayo? Yes, may RGP na. Which is 2.5 million, no? Hindi, na-excite ako. Na-excite ako sa 2020. Ayan. 2.5 million. So, magkano ang iyong CIP 2019? That is 32,725,000. So, lagay lang natin dito. Yan. Progress billings natin, magkano as of December 31, 2019? That is, add nyo lang ulit lahat ng mga binil na pinadalang billings. 15 million plus 5 million plus 8 million plus 9 million. Magkano siya? 37 million. Magkano ang difference? 4,275,000. Negative. Mas malaki pa rin progress billings eh. Pag negative or mas mataas pa yung progress billings, anong tawag natin dyan sa difference? That is, contract liability. Naiintindihan? And that ends our first problem. Ganon kahaba, no? Pero I hope na-appreciate nyo, guys. Now, eto lang yung mga tatandaan nyo, no? Since, kung natatandaan nyo sa first lecture natin ng PFRS 15, meron tayong tinatawag na revenue recognized over a period of time and revenue recognized at a point in time. Pag sinabi nating revenue recognized over a period of time, in the context of construction contracts, tinatawag siyang percentage of completion. Then, pag at a point in time, tinatawag naman siyang zero. Ayan ba yan? Dito na nga lang. Ayan. Zero profit method. Okay? That is zero profit method. Kaya napansin nyo, nung nasa percentage of completion tayo, kalat yung profit, di ba? Balikan nyo yung sagot nyo sa case 1 natin. Case 1 number 1. Add nyo lahat ng mga RGP and loss natin from 2016 through 2020. 750,000 minus 300,000 minus 2.95 million plus 3,775,000 plus 725,000. Magkano siya? 2 million. Which is the actual gross profit computed at the final year of construction. Yung 2 million, kinalat mo siya from 2016 through 2020. Di ba? Ganon ang beauty ng percentage of completion. Over a period of time siya. Yung revenue at yung profit. Now, yung sa zero profit natin, kung mapapansin nyo, no, add nyo lang 0, 0, negative 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2 million. Makikita nyo, yung actual gross profit na 2 million na na-compute natin at the final year of the construction period is effectively na-recognize siya ng final year lang. Nakuha, di ba? Yan na kaya siya tinawag na at a point in time. Alright? So, first part of my discussion for revenue from construction contracts is already finished. No? Yung natitirang problems natin for this handout will be discussed in the second part of my discussion on revenue from construction contracts. So, see you there, guys. No? I hope you have appreciated our discussion on revenue from construction in construction contracts first part. Okay? So, stay tuned for the second part of our discussion on revenue from construction contracts.